back in here for Simply the Bets, brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Glenn Clark, Griffin Bass. In just a couple of seconds, we'll head out to Vegas. Our buddy Aaron Oster is standing by. He will get us his 5 L's for sports betting. And then later on in the show, Assistant General Manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook, Ryan Horodyski, will join us. Talk about more about what's going on in the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. That's all on the way here on today's show. Again, the Fanduel Sportsbook is always the best place to watch and bet on everything football throughout the week. The World Series getting underway this weekend. Basketball and hockey seasons now very much underway. Best place to watch and bet on all of them. The Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. All right, joining us now from out in Vegas, man who had a roughish week last week. He is our buddy Aaron Oster from VSiN. He's with us now here in Simply the Bets. What's going on, pal? How are you?
Yeah, looking to recover after last week. This was honestly my first really bad overall weekend of the NFL season.
You know what's funny about that?
Could not hit.
This was a really good weekend for your boy. Like our picks contest, I was only fine, but in the actual bets that I made, I did.
Yep.
I parlayed Ravens first half and regulation.
Okay.
And it was narrow on both, but both hit, which was a nice hit for me. I didn't have the Seahawks winning outright, and I wish I would have. Like I wish I would have gone that bold. But I grabbed them. I grabbed the Chiefs, and I had another one that I actually put I had Alabama covering the 21 against Mississippi State. So the actual bets that I made this weekend, I was 4 for 4. It was a very lovely weekend for your boy this weekend. Maybe we should do this the other way. Maybe you should ask me what I think the bets should be for this week.
There we go.
Aaron missed on Maryland. I didn't bet that one, but in our picks contest, I did. I know you had the under, and I get the thought process. I totally understood. Maryland's defense has been just a bit shaky of late, so there ended up being 55 points there, and you loved the Falcons, who let us down the first time all year. Yeah. They failed to cover the spread against the Bengals, so they're now 6-1 against the spread on the season. Yeah. Now, Griffin does point out good news for you. Back on August 23rd.
There's several good news, yeah.
Back on August 23rd, you said it's only minus 135. Bet Maryland over 5.5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And they're already over. Now, things look a little bit dicey from here. I do still think that Rutgers we can assume would be a win, but I don't even know if we can assume Wisconsin's a win any longer. Wisconsin's actually turned things around a good bit, so I'm a little bit nervous about that.
Oh, I'm definitely not assuming that one.
But doesn't matter. They've already got the 6. That's the number you needed. So if you bet with Aaron back on August 23rd, you are already able to cash that ticket as Maryland is up to 6 wins on the season. So there is some good news there. Let's try to find some more good news this week. 5 L's of sports betting: a local, a long-term, a long shot, a loser, and a lovable bet for the week. Where do we start with a local bet?
Well, we have Thursday Night Football for the Ravens this week, which means not necessarily at Fanduel yet, but probably later in the day, we are going to get props nice and early for this one. So I can look at the prop market for a local bet finally, which makes me happy because I do tend to do a little better in props than I do at regular picks. And for this game against the Buccaneers, I'm looking at that sketchy, I will just say, Buccaneers offense and try to figure out exactly what they're going to do. And over the past few years, when Tom Brady has gone through a rough patch, the next game, and we did see this last week, even though it ended up in a loss, and even though he ended up dropping a huge pass that would have really changed the tone of the game early, and he even said it after. But he goes to Mike Evans. He goes to Mike Evans early and often, and he tries to get Mike Evans involved in the game. I do see yardage props out at a couple other books. It's at 68.5. I like that over at 68.5. And depending on what the reception prop is, I wouldn't mind the over. If it's 5.5, I definitely take the over. 6.5, I'm a little bit more wary of it, and I don't know whether it's going to be 5.5 or 6.5. I assume it's going to be one of those two plays. So if it's 5.5, I definitely play it. But since we don't know, and we know around where the yardage is going to be, I will just say Mike Evans over 68.5 receiving yards.
I think I like that. I mean, I think in general, I would always like that. I just everything is so weird with the Buccaneers right now, man, that I don't know how to bet anything related to them. It's very confusing to me, and I'm still I still am of the belief that at some point that's still Tom Brady and that's still Mike Evans. Like, it can't just be this bad. There's an argument that if they want to fix it, the way they should be fixing it is by running way more than what they've been running to this point, and if they do that, then that might end up hurting Mike Evans. But I get it. More often than not, I'm going to assume Mike Evans is going to go over 68.5 yards. I don't know. I think if you said yes or no, I'd say yes, but my first answer would be I just probably wouldn't bet anything related to the Buccaneers until I have some sort of feel. Yeah, this is tricky for me. I don't like betting Thursday Night Football. I don't like this at all. I've been betting the Ravens first quarter or first half. They've been very good in the first half all season. They have not lost a first half all year. Nothing about Thursday Night Football makes me want to bet things like that. I tend to want to stay away from them.
Yeah. If you told me that I had to bet something more traditional for it, I would lean towards under 45.5, just because between Thursday night unders and the fact that the Buccaneers offense does look so bad, I'd lean that way.
And the Ravens appeared a little bit more inclined to try to run the ball on Sunday.
Exactly.
Yeah. By the way, that might, if I had to make one, that you might be right. That might be the one that I'd be inclined to make. All right, let's look a little bit more into the future. What's the futures bet that you like? What's your long-term pick?
Over the past 2 months, I've been kind of dancing around various Eagles bets. I think I said they're going to be the number one seed in the NFC a month or 6 weeks ago, something around that. I had said don't play the undefeated season last week, even though I said, hey, there's a chance they do go undefeated. Just don't play it at this number because that's not good. I found another bet. Fanduel kind of likes to alternate what futures they have available, especially on Tuesdays. And this one's up, and it's a number that I'm still very, very comfortable with. And that's to have the best record in the NFL. We've talked about this a few times. Their schedule is really, really soft. They are good. It's getting really hard to see them winning certainly less than 14 games and probably 15 or 16 games, honestly, in the season because the schedule is so soft. They're not even the favorite right now. The Bills are still the favorite at plus 125. So at plus 150, an implied probability of 40%, I really like the Eagles to have the best record in the NFL.
I get it. I completely get it. I still don't think that they're going to go unbeaten. I still think you stay away from that bet.
Yep.
There's what happens if Jalen were to get hurt at some point. There's some risk in there. To your point, is there an argument that they should be the team with the best odds because they're the team that's unbeaten? It's an interesting thing, right? I think everybody on the planet that isn't a passionate Philadelphia Eagles fan believes the Bills the best team in the NFL right now. But
sure,
they're the one that doesn't have any losses. And to your point about the schedule, it doesn't look daunting. Although the division games definitely look more interesting than we thought they were going to be a few weeks ago, right? They got lucky that they didn't have to face Dak the first time. I'm not saying that they would have lost that game, but if Dak is playing, then the Cowboys are probably a bit trickier in Texas later in the season. We've dismissed the Giants as much as we have all season, but at some point we're forced to acknowledge. I'm pretty sure, by the way, the Giants are dogs again this week, aren't they?
The Giants are. I believe that is the case. I need to actually take a closer look at those one games. I just didn't want.
I can probably.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, they're dogs.
Yeah, the Giants are. 3-point dogs to Seattle. The other team. That's just we got to figure out what they are.
And I get it. We think Seattle. We shouldn't be disrespecting Seattle either. I understand that, but it's amazing how much we're just going to keep doing this with the Giants, where we keep pretending like it's not happening, and they still have 2 games left with the Giants this season as well. So.
Yep.
I get it.
At the same time, the Bills do have at Cincinnati, which is, if you're taking both schedules, probably the hardest game on either schedule, and they got the Dolphins. They do have,
and the Jets aren't nothing anymore either.
Right, exactly.
So
Vikings aren't nothing. So the Bills schedule is harder. As much you're right. It's not a simple.
What is the Vikings game? Is that a primetime game?
The Vikings. Oh, that's a good point. No, right now it's scheduled for 1
you know what? You're right. That is tricky. I agree with you. As long as most people aren't watching, the Vikings are really tricky. As soon as you get to the point where everybody's paying attention, no, that's not the case any longer. All right, what about a long shot? What's an underdog that you like a great deal this week?
So I've started to do my research in college basketball. That's my favorite sport. It's early, but it's not that early. We're only a few weeks away from college basketball season starting. Obviously, the AP poll came out last week. We have a lot of the.
Oh, I don't know what the story was there. We'll try to get that figured out as Aaron Oster is with us from VSiN out in Vegas. It's so funny. I was about to bring up to him that there's not a lot of college basketball available. Like, there's just not a lot going on there, unfortunately. We will try to pull him back up. I was looking at the options for college basketball futures bets just a second ago. Aaron, is that? Tell me where you're telling us about college basketball.
Yes, I was saying AP poll came out last week. We had a lot of the metrics, the Ken Palms, the Bartorvik, all of these really starting to release their numbers as well. And there's one team that's really, it doesn't seem to add up what their odds are and where they seem to be ranked by both the people and the metrics, and that's Tennessee. Tennessee and the computer numbers can be third or fourth, depending on which one you're using. In the AP poll, they're 11th. But right now, they're 31 to win the national title. And obviously, this is a good team with some really solid returning players as well. Good transfer. And I think they're going to compete for the SEC title. They're 30-1 right now to win the national championship. And I think that's worth the play at 30-1. It's something, again, when you're talking about numbers here, you're looking for value more than necessarily who you think is the absolute best. And I think that number should be, kind of up in the teens more than 30.
I was a little caught off guard by how few college basketball bets are available so far. Is that normal?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it looks like at every book? Is there just a reason why, we're 2 weeks out and we have so little to work with for college basketball?
Yeah, it's a little bit unusual, but it's not overly. And I think Fanduel actually did just put out, I think they're the first ones to market on the 4 conferences they have right now.
Okay.
So I do expect this week to see a little bit more of that start to roll out. Usually those conference odds will come out about 2 weeks before, so we're heading right around that quarter where those conference odds should come out. But yes, it does feel a little bit later. But no, it's not totally unusual, and Fanduel actually is ahead of the game as far as those conferences go.
All right, very interesting. All right, Aaron Oster is with us from VSiN out in Vegas. Let's get to the one that you say, whatever you do, do not make this bet. It stinks. It's not the one. Do anything. Just don't make it. What's a loser this week?
I like to teach people things when I'm doing this, or at least try to teach people things. So this is as much of a concept one as it is an actual bet, because last night, when Bailey Zappi came in and threw that touchdown, people absolutely lost their minds when it came to finding ways of betting Bailey Zappi, to the point where, while at the Fanduel Sportsbook, they took that down. The books that kept Offensive Rookie of the Year up had Bailey Zappi at one point yesterday down to plus 500 to win the award.
Wow.
It moved from either 50-1 or 100-1. All the way down to, anywhere from plus 500 to plus 1,400. Now, the line has come back up for the books that have taken it down. And at FanDuel, it's only 20-1, which, by the way, I still think is way too low. And you might roll your eyes, well, of course, a 20-1 shouldn't be listed as a loser. But because everybody was losing their minds, and kind of the lesson here is don't lose your mind over one play. I understand that you get excited, you think you have a chance to get a big number. But when it comes to such a volatile market like that and such a volatile situation, especially in a primetime game like that, don't lose your mind over one play or even 2 plays, in the case of Bailey Zappi, and just kind of take a breath before you make a bet. But yes, Bailey Zappi to win Rookie of the Year at 20-1 is my official loser.
I hear you, and look, I'm in a weird place because I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback moving forward, and the overall point of don't overreact to one play, I think is very smart. I'm still not ruling out the possibility that Bailey Zappi, if he becomes the quarterback, just because quarterbacks have such an inherent advantage in these situations, and there's no, like, Kenny Pickett's been okay, but nothing. I mean, I'm even kind of stretching to say he's been okay. I know that Kenneth Walker looks really good right now, but if Bailey Zappi ends up being the Patriots quarterback the rest of the way, I just think the quarterbacks have such an inherent advantage. I'm not sure yet that it's a bad bet. I think betting so dramatically in one moment is bad, but at 20-1 on somebody that might prove to be the best rookie quarterback this season, I'm not sure that that's a bad bet necessarily. Not one I'd be in a rush to make, obviously.
Yeah, I actually do think that I was going to say, like, I think that short of him coming in and really winning, obviously, I think that if he had come in and won yesterday, we'd be talking about different things, because then all of a sudden you're starting to talk about the things outside of stats, talking about, winning records and how good the team is. I think that loss yesterday hurts his candidacy considerably.
Yeah, but, he didn't start the game, right? Like, I don't know how much it hurts him. What hurts is he going to be the quarterback or not, right? Like, that's what really hurts. If they're going to go back to Mac Jones, then he's got no chance. He's dead.
Course, yeah.
But if he is going to be the quarterback moving forward, just the inherent advantage that quarterbacks have in these situations, combined with the fact that there aren't other legitimate quarterback candidates, opens it up. Now, if George Pickens is really on his way to having a monster season, or if Kenneth Walker keeps this up, then you've got to be better than just the guy that was the best quarterback, right? Like, you've got to really play well. So we'll see. But that's an interesting one to me at the moment. I'm not saying I think it's a good one. I don't know. It's just interesting to me where you are with that. And then the one that you do love, the one that you say absolutely get there immediately, bum a ride, hitchhike, whatever you got to do in order to get to the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino in Hotel Maryland.
Well, I'm going to baseball for this one. It is the World Series, and even though I lost my Astros over Braves bet a few weeks ago,
you did.
I said at the time the reason I was looking for that was because I was looking for value on the Houston Astros. I think the Houston Astros are the best team, and I think that really compounds just by this matchup. There's not a lot of places, even though, you can say that the Phillies right, they have the momentum, they're a buzzsaw right now. When you break down the, position by position, the lineup, the starting pitchers, the bullpen, the Astros have the Phillies in just about every department there. And I just, plain and simple, I think the Astros are the better team. I think they are going to win this, and I am looking to play this. And so at FanDuel, they do have a spread on the series itself. You can play the Astros minus 1.5 games. So basically, as long as the Astros win and it doesn't go 7 games, if they win 4-2, 4-1, or 4-0, you get the win. That's plus money right now. It's plus 114. So, I like the idea of playing the Astros, getting plus money. So give me that Astros minus 1.5 games at plus 114.
I'm gonna go with you and say yes. I am in agreement on that. I am in agreement. Here's what I don't understand. So I don't know if you saw this in the line total parlays. It says it's got Astros minus 1.5 and under 6.5, right? Which it doesn't say specifically is for game 1, and that makes me wonder if it's for the series on the whole, which if it is, and you're betting the Astros with the minus 1.5, then wouldn't that, of course, come along with betting under 6.5 games, because they can't win a 7-game series by more than 1.5. So wouldn't you take that parlay at plus 410 then?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally sure. I don't think I saw this exact market, but yeah, I mean, that's – wait, so you're saying that you parlay –
Yeah, Astros winning the series by minus 1.5. And again, this is what makes it confusing, because they have it listed as run line total runs parlay, but they don't say it's for game 1, which is the part that I'm confused by.
Okay. If they say run line, that is a single game. Run line is.
I don't understand why they don't have. All right, they need to do a better job of that. They need to do a much better job of that.
I think what they are saying is you're betting on the run line in game 1 and then the overall games. Or wait, hold on. Say this again. It was run line and then
total run parlay. Yeah. So you're betting on the Astros
to
win.
I think that's just.
It's got to be game 1. I agree. Oh, you know what?
It's a single game. It's a single game parlay.
I see what they're doing. Yeah. They've separated. This might be on me. It's wonky, but they've kind of separated it with the patch. I wish they would just say game 1 there, is what I would say. But
and the total is 6.5 for game 1, so that is definitely
and there you go.
Game.
There's
You're
your
betting
answer.
the run line.
There's your answer. That Glenn's the idiot. I am happy to say that. I'm the idiot. All right, pal. What's going on with VSiN?
We have our NBA, NHL underway. We have our guide still out and available, and plenty of futures still worth playing in that if you'd like to get in early. Very few of the markets have moved in the first couple of weeks of this season, and we do have college basketball coming out, so we will have a college basketball guide coming out probably next week sometime. So you'll want to check out that and everything else we have available at VSiN.com.
All right. At the Oster on Twitter is how you follow him. Appreciate you, pal. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Hope everyone hits their bets.
That's Aaron Oster from VSiN out in Vegas. When we come back in, we will head down to the Fanduel Sportsbook, find out what's going on there this week. Ryan Horodyski, with the assistant general manager for the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, joins us next. Simply the Bets.
Come experience Maryland's #1 sportsbook this NFL season at the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, the ultimate place for any sports enthusiast. Take advantage of our 24/7 kiosks, massive video screens, and watch all the action from the best seat in the house. With more money paid out than anyone around, make every moment more at the new Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
The Baltimore County Police Department is hiring. Entry-level officers start at close to $59,000 a year with a $10,000 bonus. Some restrictions apply. Plus a great retirement plan, medical, dental, and vision insurance, advancement to specialized units, tuition reimbursement, 15 sick days earned per calendar year, and even further incentives for military members and veterans. If you have a passion for service and want a career for life, visit joinbaltimorecountypd.com or call 410-887-5542. You must be a United States citizen, possess a valid driver's license, and have a high school diploma or GED equivalent. The Baltimore County Police Department is an equal opportunity employer.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, new Maryland basketball coach Kevin Willard sits down with Stan Charles and Glenn Clark to discuss the situation he inherited in College Park and how he plans to get the program turned around. Also, inside, we introduce you to men's and women's college basketball players from all of the teams in the area. And Bo Smoka profiles Ravens receiver Devin Duvernay. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Experience the best in Kamado Grilling, a complete outdoor cooking appliance. The Ginsu Kamado Grill allows anyone to sear, grill, bake, and smoke all types of food. Designed for efficiency and function, the Ginsu Kamado Grill upholds the enduring legacy of the iconic Ginsu brand. The Ginsu Kamado Grill is perfect to cook all year round, is great for parties, and ideal for tailgating with your friends. Reserve your Ginsu Kamado Grill today at ginsugrills.com and get $100 off on your pre-order when you use the promo code TAILGATE. That's ginsugrills.com. Reserve yours today.
Join Glenn at halftime of every Ravens game for the Project Game Day halftime show at facebook.com/PressBoxSports. We apologize in advance. There's not much we can do about his face.
This is actually Simply the Bets, brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. And again, as we look ahead to Thursday night football, Ravens are favored on the road, which I get because the Buccaneers have been a disaster. But I just don't like Thursday night football road favorites. That's tricky to me. That's dicey. Right now, it's the Ravens -1.5. The number is actually gone down. It's now 45.5 is the total for Thursday night football. The Ravens are -118 favorites on the money line. Tampa is +100 on the money line for Thursday night football. Coming up on, I don't. I'm in a weird place where I keep saying I still think the Buccaneers could end up being the Buccaneers again. I still think Tom Brady could be Tom Brady again. I still think that Mike Evans, dropping the ball, I still think that they're still the Buccaneers. So I'm in a weird place. I don't know that I believe that they'll be that on Thursday, but I do think that the quick turnaround mitigates some of that. So I'm nervous about that. I'm apprehensive. I'm right now staying away from that game. Betting-wise at the moment. I'm going to dive into some more of the options as the week goes on and think about whether or not maybe I want to take some other chances on that game. Let's talk more about that. Everything going on in the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. He is their assistant GM, Ryan Horodyski, and he's with us now here on on Simply the Bets, that is. Ryan, it's Glenn. It's good to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time.
What's going on, Glenn? Happy to fill in for Leon every once in a while here.
Yeah, right. Everything good. I always like to start with this with Leon. I always want to know how the books did, and I feel like very often the books tend to do about as well as the Ravens do. With the Ravens not covering on Sunday, was it a good weekend for the book?
Yeah, I would say that trend definitely continued again this week. When the Ravens lose, typically that's a good performance for the book. And obviously when the bigger favorites don't win and cover as well, that's another big boost for the book. So Packers and Buccaneers both going down. Hard for the book to lose.
You mean to tell me that people didn't have Commanders fever around here, that they weren't all over betting the Manders against the Packers on Sunday?
We really don't see a lot of Commanders action.
That's so weird. It's so surprising, Ryan. They're so good. I can't believe that you don't get a bunch of action on the Manders.
They're clearly capable of surprises here and there, so they got the job done, helped us out a bit still.
That is true. There's no doubt. What else? What were the other big storylines for you guys this week?
Yeah, it was another winning weekend overall. We had a lot going on Saturday as well with an historic MMA card, I would say. We had one or two sizable wagers that came in and hit on Saturday, but overall pretty winning week. We did get hit for a big one yesterday. We had a bettor bold enough to put $5,000 down on a Spurs-Bears money line 2-team parlay.
What? Like, the funny thing is the Bears are only the second most surprising part about that parlay. I can't believe any human being put any American dollars down on the San Antonio Spurs on the money line. Holy F. Do you happen to know if this person's like a pro or how in the world would somebody think to put that parlay down?
I don't know. That's a wild one for sure. I don't have the courage to do something like that. They both closed around plus 300 or so, plus 290, I think, for the Spurs. Bears plus 320 or so I have here. So $5,000, that turns into about $77,000 after that one.
Wow, man. That is, hey, look, good on you. Good on you. Every now and then something like that hits, and it's a big deal. Any other big wins that happened over the course of the weekend?
That was by far the biggest we've had in some time. We had one decently long parlay for MMA hit. I think that was about 800 into 35, 40K, something in that range. But most of the MMA, I think we turned out pretty profitable as well there, even with O'Malley getting a shocking win.
I know Griffin liked that one, but he didn't bet it like an idiot. He bet the Oliveira, and he took the L on that one. He helped you guys out a bit on Saturday. Ryan Horodyski is with us here on Simply the Bets, the assistant general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. You mentioned, obviously, the big fights on Saturday in the UFC. We got another one of these bizarro cards coming up this Saturday in boxing where it's headlined by, for F's sake, one of the Paul brothers boxing against Anderson Silva. Do you guys get action on these cards? Like, are these a big deal for you guys? Am I the old man yelling at the cloud that these things bother me because everybody else loves them?
You're right. The people do love them. We'll definitely have Jake Paul and Anderson Silva on Saturday here at the Sportsbook. It's, a public name like that. It's going to bring in a lot of eyes, whether they're in here to bet, watch, just hang out because he's super popular. So we're expecting a pretty sizable crowd for Jake Paul anytime he's getting in the ring.
Why does it feel to me like all of these fights have ended in draws? Like, why does it feel to me like no one has actually won outside of the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor fight once upon a time? Like, why does it feel like any of these kind of silly fights have always gone to draws?
I agree. It definitely does seem that way. I'm not anywhere near a boxing expert, but when you're getting paid so much money just to get in the ring and, show your face for a lot of promos and branding, maybe the fighting actually falls to the wayside.
You're less inclined. To try to feel the need. At the moment, if this interests you, Jake Paul is a minus 154 favorite against Anderson Silva, who's plus 120 on Saturday. And I would offer you advice, but Lord, I have no idea. Like, I couldn't possibly tell you what you should do with this. But if you want to watch and bet on the fight, you can do it in the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. What else is going on this week down in the Fanduel Sportsbook, man?
Yeah, so another big weekend coming up with that, like you just said, and we do have another sizable update, I would say, coming to the Sportsbook, as we're going to have early cash out available tomorrow, pending any
Did you say
technical difficulties.
You said tomorrow it's coming.
It is expected tomorrow.
Wow.
As well as at our DC location and some others later this week. So it's coming out at a number of our FanDuel properties across the estate. Won't be available for same game parlay plus, or on our bet pads, but something that our bettors have been asking for a while. Should be interesting to see how that goes.
So yeah, Leon explained to me that the way it would work, you would take your ticket back to one of the kiosks, rate it, and then they would offer you the cash out then, correct?
Right, assuming that the market is still available to be traded, whether it's live or pregame, it should have an offer for you, and you can accept it or not. But we are hopefully going to be directing a lot of those guests towards the kiosk, so we're not tying up constant, requests to see what the re-offers are at our
window.
counter.
Yeah, I get that. And are we still? I remember Leon had been talking. There were some more kiosks that were coming too, as well. Correct?
We may not get those after all. We did get approved for 6 more that were supposedly going to be coming, but some complications on the back end. And in addition to us having online betting available in the next month or two, it seems like we may not get those after all.
That is a fair point. That is a very significant, after the events of the last week, it does appear as though finally after a long time we are moving in that direction, that before the end of the calendar year that online betting will be available in the state of Maryland, which we're excited about that. So that's going on. You mentioned the fights. And then I imagine you guys are expecting a pretty big crowd for Thursday night and Ravens-Buccaneers, and people want to think about making some reservations ahead of time for that.
Of course. So Thursday night's always a busy night, and now we get to have the Ravens and potentially washed Tom Brady, I don't know, on Thursday night.
Dude, you know what, Ryan? I hear you saying that, and you have every right to say it. The problem is, this is still Tom Brady we're talking about, right? And I can't do it. I can't convince myself that there isn't a world in which we get to Friday morning and we're all like, damn it, he reminded us he was Tom Brady, didn't he? I can't. I've seen it too much in my life,
I agree. It's hard to really find a stance either way. Is he done? Is he not? But, when you put up 3 points against debatably the worst team, worst defense, not sure what to think about that one. But, great crowd on Thursday. Let one of our supervisors, anybody at the Sportsbook, know if you're interested in sitting in the blue chairs for a Thursday night or over the weekend, and we'll hopefully be able to get you sorted.
I believe you can email events at sportssocialmd.com as well if you want to reserve a spot. Ryan Horodyski, appreciate it, man. Thank you for the update. We will see you down there this week in the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Thanks, Glenn. Take care, mate.
It's Ryan Horodyski joining us here on Simply the Bets. Let's get ready for a big week. Freaking Jake Paul. God. But if you're into it, if that's what you want to do, if you want to go bet Jake Paul, how do you possibly?
I think that I like that line. I think Jake Paul wins that.
But why do you think Jake Paul
wins that? Because I feel like he's probably more in shape. He's so much younger, and he's actually looked pretty solid in his fights against Tyron Woodley and whoever else he's fought. As far as them not being the other two guys that weren't real fighters.
So your argument is Anderson Silva's 47 years old, right? So what could he possibly have to offer? And that's fair.
Yeah.
And Anderson Silva did not look great in the dwindling years of
No, he
his mixed
didn't,
martial arts
unfortunately.
career, right? And then you add into the question,
and he hasn't fought in 2 years now.
right? And does he care, right? Like that's always what this comes down to for me is who cares, like who's actually trying to do.
I think Jake
something.
Paul's very motivated right now.
I think the other question is how many rounds is this fight?
8. It is 8 rounds.
It's a little bit more than some of these exhibition fights have been.
The-
But like if Floyd,
Well, this one's like real. Like these count. Like this is like
they're all
Jake Paul's
they're
he
all
gets his hand raised.
exhibitions.
You know,
That's what they all are.
he's
They're
trying to be a
all-
real boxer.
He's not. He's fighting Anderson Silva.
He's 4-0.
He's not a real boxer. He's doing this. He's doing this for attention. He's not trying to be a real boxer. He's not taking fights against real fighters.
I guess. Yeah, real boxers. We'll
Correct.
see what happens when he fights a real boxer. I mean,
Even
And
when
I
he when he
think
was trying to
it's-
schedule a fight against a real boxer, it wasn't.
they were backing out.
Well, no, it seemed Rahman couldn't make weight,
Right.
right? Like, I mean, that was the issue with that is he wasn't gonna be able to make weight. He still wanted to fight, like he just wasn't gonna be able to make the weight.
Right. Well, Jake Paul was like he was suggesting other catch weights, but they were still too low for him. Apparently, I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't want to defend Jake Paul at all, but I mean,
he's not a real fighter, and it always comes down to what matters to these people, right? Like, does it matter that he wins the fight? Does it matter that does Anderson Silva care, or is it just I'm 47 years old? Here's an opportunity for me to get a payday. I'm going to take the payday, and it will be irrelevant to me and to my legacy if I lose to Jake Paul. And I think that part of this equation is the most reasonable answer. The most reasonable answer is Jake Paul, if he loses to Anderson Silva, probably makes it tougher to sell the next fight, right? The next fight. Let me put it in quotation marks. The next fight.
the next match,
Anderson,
next boxing match.
Anderson Silva, who gives a rat's ass, right? Like, you can only do this once. Like, you can't fight. I mean, I guess you could try to fight him again, right? Like, but there's a limit to this. God, I hate everything about it. I hate this so much. What are
I
you,
mean, I'll be watching. But
what are you showing me? What is this?
Did you
Mike?
see the video of their dance off?
who had a dance off?
Anderson Silva and Jake Paul.
Oh God. Is it good? Is it a?
I've got it right here.
Okay.
This place isn't for me, bro. This place is not. This is not.
Oh dear God.
This is not the world for me, man.
I searched Jake Paul and Anderson Silva, and it filled in with like fight, and then the second result was dancing.
Again, I want to make it
So
very
how
clear.
can you say they're not real boxers?
Shut up. I know a lot of you will choose to do this. This is how you will choose to spend your time, and there's nothing I can do about that, right? Like, that's your choice. You can make it all you want to make it, and if you do, I would encourage you to do it at the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. But you're not going to get me to pretend like I don't hate it. I truly hate everything about this, and it is so much a story of our country. You don't have to be good at something. You just have to be well known. That's it. Irrelevant if you have any skills. Irrelevant if you have any talent. Just have to be well known. Which isn't to say that Jake Paul doesn't have some talent. I don't know what he does that he's talented. I really don't. I wish I could. I wish I could tell you what he has that's a talent. But
Sells fights.
that's again, it's because he's well known. He's well known. That's what he is. He's famous. Is he good? I don't know. He's famous, and that's what we've escaped. We have lost all ability for good and bad. It's just famous. That's all that exists. It's why we're dressing up like Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween. It's why Billy effing McFarland is going to be able to. Did you see this? Billy McFarland is teasing doing another music festival, and we're gonna let him because he's famous. Because they made movies about him. Because people know who he is.
That's Firefest, right?
Yes. That guy put out a video yesterday teasing another festival. I'm Billy McFarland, and I bit off a little more than I could chew last time, but this
I figured it out.
I want you guys to be a part of it. And for F's sake, we're going to let him.
Oh, I went to Bucknell.
Who?
Billy McFarland.
Why do you care about that?
Because I have a friend that goes to Bucknell.
What does
Or
that
went
have to do with
Bucknell.
any-
Well, I'm gonna,
Now he's
I'm
gonna
gonna make.
go
I know. I'm
Yes,
gonna make
right?
fun of him.
Now all of a sudden he's in on Billy McFarland.
No, I'm gonna make fun of my friend that went to Bucknell. Cause,
Okay, because he's...
yeah, I'm
whatever.
gonna say maybe he's
This-
ripping people off.
This is what we are, and I get it. I'm yelling at a cloud. I understand. I'm the old man. Like, this has passed me by. It does not matter if you're good at anything. It does not matter if you're bad at anything. It's just about being famous. I understand. That's the way the world works now. I just I'm going to choose to lament that. I wish good, like it's the man. There was a tweet about this not a time ago. My buddy Kevin Van Valkenburg tweeted about it. Yes, the good and bad things are exactly the same. You're 100% right. You've nailed it. Like, is there a difference between something good? You know, when somebody, one of my favorite things is like, is it gay to blank? Right, that's one of my favorite Twitter
like,
tropes.
Fellas.
Is it gay to have a clean room? Like, because some dude will be on Twitter like, "Yo, this homie's room is way too clean."
Your bed's made?
Right. And then somebody will retweet it and be like, "Fellas, is it gay to have a clean room?" Rita tweeted one yesterday where like somebody was talking about why are dudes spending all this time worried about what they smell like, and she's like, "Is it gay to smell good?" Like, I love that trope. I feel like this is a trope now where it's just, yes, the good and bad things are equal.
Yeah. People just like talking crap about things.
How can we not objectively say this is horrible?
Because I don't know. It's been entertaining for
For
four fights
Maybe
now.
For you.
Yeah.
For you.
I mean,
you know what? Everything about this makes sense. You're 22 years old. Everything about this makes sense. They're famous. I'll watch them do anything.
Down in $28 at Taco Bell during the fight.
100%.
That's a good idea.
28. This might be a $58 Taco Bell night.
Might have to splurge a little.
God, it's a big night in this house. It's Jake Paul.
And after I make some money, I'll make it all right back after Jake Paul sits down Anderson Silva in round 1.
God, I hate
Beats up an old man.
Yeah.
I hate everything. This place is not for me. I need a new planet. I need something. I need a place where we watch boxers box. Where somebody's not like, "Hey, Jake Paul's got a new song out." No!
Well, yeah,
Musicians make music, not him.
He does it all. He's a jack of all trades.
Damn it.
He can dance. He can rap.
John Colson just closed the door on me because I'm ranting about Jake Paul. The hell. All right, what's your tidbit?
All right, so on Saturday we had an NHL bettor pick the entire 13-game slate of the NHL, and he went 13 for 13.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he put $3.21 on it, walked away with $10K.
Yeah, I would have been walking away from that one with about $20. I would have cashed out immediately.
And then yesterday, someone had $33,000 on the line for Patriots money line because they hit the first 14 legs of a 15-leg parlay that they started on Sunday. They had like Lance McCullers strikeouts in there. They had the Giants upset.
Why
would
they not have cashed out?
They put
always cash out.
They put $5 on it. Would have won $33,000, or they could have hedged with Bears.
Yeah, but do
money
we know
line
what
too.
the cash out offer was?
I did not see what or if there was a cash out option. He did not take it.
Yep.
He rode Patriots.
That's a rough.
So lost out on $33,000. Also on Saturday night, someone parlayed 5 first-made baskets and went 5 for 5. They had Cade Cunningham, Paolo Banchero, Pascal Siakam, Nikola Vucevic, and Luka Doncic to make the first basket in each of those respective games.
I don't know about parlaying, but I've always liked, have bet star player to make first basket. I've always liked that. I cashed out well on what's his face from Kansas in the national title game.
Abaji, yeah.
Yeah, I cashed out well on Abaji in the national title game.
Well, he put $1 on this, $15,000.
I mean, wait, that's it? $1 on that?
Yeah.
Was $15,000?
I mean, I guess because all these guys are kind of the second star, I guess, of the game.
Yeah,
not Luke.
Like
Luka's
Vucevic
one.
isn't
But yeah,
really a
Vucevic.
I guess, but Cade Cunningham, who the hell else would you be betting on?
I don't know. Well, I forgot to look up who they were playing against, but maybe they were playing against the Nets or something. So Kevin Durant.
All right.
And then so back in April, someone put $50 on the Astros to beat the Phillies in the World Series.
Oh wow!
At 2,500 to 1.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised that it was that. I mean, I get it. Those odds are so. Yeah, I mean, all right, fine. I guess that makes sense.
That will pay out $125,000, $50 bet
if it happens.
If it happens,
right.
If it happens.
Right.
But that is a wager to watch. And then finally, this guy, I guess, as actually Dr. MMA because he parlayed Sugar Sean O'Malley to win.
Sure ain't you. I know that much.
He had Sean O'Malley to win, which was I don't know. I don't know if O'Malley should have won that fight. It was very close, and I don't know. I don't
lost
love
on
that
one
decision.
too.
Yeah, because I picked the on. And
you did in the picks we made. You apparently made a bet on it. It's not going well for you.
Then he had Aljamain Sterling to win by knockout. That was 11-1. And then he had Islam Makhachev to get a sub in rounds 2, 3, or 4 at plus 460. All three of those came true, and they made. I didn't put the dollar on it, but I think he won like $10K on it. He put like $25 or something, and made like $10K. But yeah, so that was an MMA parlay that went through, and that was the last tidbit I also have.
Really quickly, the guy known as Mattress Mac down in Houston apparently had put a $10 million bet
Who's
on the
taking
Astros to win the World Series. He's so heavy in that game that he has like direct partnerships with some of the bigger books. He would stand to make $75 million on that $10 million bet. And the way that he hedges is like he offers promotions at his mattress stores where if the Astros were to lose, everybody's got to pay for their mattresses, but if they win, everybody, like, he's going to make the $10 million back in $10 million worth of mattress sales. Like he says, if the Astros win, you don't have to pay for your mattress. And he's okay because he made $75 million. If they lose, you got to pay for your mattress. Well, he's going to make back the $10 million that he lost making the bet. It's fairly genius as far as a betting scheme is concerned. It's quite smart. I don't think that he should be running the country, but he's been very clever, and he gets a boatload. Nobody on the planet knows any mattress salesman in any city in the country. You couldn't name. There is no Baltimore mattress person that you.
That's what I was gonna say.
Right?
Is do $10 million worth of people need mattresses in Houston?
I think he owns a lot of stores. Like I don't think it's one
He's
store.
got a monopoly of mattresses.
Yeah,
right?
and I think it goes beyond Houston. I think like he owns like mattress stores all over the country. So if you've been thinking about a mattress and you know there's a nearly 50-50 chance that you're not going to have to pay for it, you're like, well, I'll buy them from Mattress Mac because.
I'm sure he has like a cult
Okay,
following
so-
too. Of
Yeah,
people who like.
So you enter the sweepstakes or whatever, I guess, and
Well,
you buy your mattress before the
it's-
series ends. He's not like giving away free mattresses after the.
No. I think the way that it works is you buy now,
right,
and
okay,
it's like
okay, that's
you
what I-
know,
that's
the
what
same
that
way the
makes
places
sense.
might offer you like 30 days free or something like that. You
Right.
know? What he'll say is, if the Astros win, you never have to pay for your mattress, right? Whereas if the Astros lose, then this is what you're entering into an agreement to pay this amount of money when you buy the mattress.
All right, makes sense now. I like that. Yeah.
And then if the Astros win, you never have to pay any of it, right? So if you're somebody who's been needing a new mattress,
if I'm in the mattress,
right?
yeah,
Like if
I
you've been
like this-
thinking
I
about
like this
if you've been
idea.
thinking about mattresses for a while, you're inclined to go buy from that guy because again, you got at least 50-50 chance that you're getting a free mattress out of it. Whereas if you buy from Mattress Phil,
you're paying for it no matter
you
what.
got a 0% chance of getting a free mattress. And I don't think the mattresses are going to be so different in price that it's worth the trade-off there. So
That is
again,
genius.
It makes a lot of sense what he's doing. Like it really does make a lot of sense the way that he handles it. And I'm pretty sure he also hedges his bets all over the place.
Yeah.
I think he's like I think he's I don't know. I'm not as interested as some people are. Darren Rovell probably writes about Mattress Mac once every 5 minutes. I'm not quite that interested in him, but I do think that the business practice is intriguing.
And so Trey Mancini's 60-1 to hit a home run in the World Series. John in Little Rock was while we were talking about Trey
You know what,
Mancini.
John?
He said book it. Trey
You know
Mancini's
what?
hitting a home run. It's 60-1
I'd
right
put
now.
$5 down on that. I'd put $5 down on Trey Mancini hitting a home run in the World Series just because it'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
Like, what a cool way to win $300. I'm all for it. Is that it? We got everything?
That is everything.
All right.
That is everything.
Thanks to Ryan Horodyski. Thanks also to Aaron Oster. We do have Weekend at Bookies coming up this week. We'll be with you Thursday morning at 11:40 a.m. Get down to the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland to make your bets this week. May the odds be ever in your favor.